service, so I'm kind of nervous. The poem I'm reading is from years ago. I've had writer's block for the past 2 years, so this is kind of old. And it's called This Is What Happened. I was born into lies, death, drugs, and sex. My mother, a prostitute addicted to sex. My father, a drug dealer addicted to money. My mother and father meet. They fell in love. My father gives her the world. A world of lies, death, drugs, and even more sex. My mother is hooked. My father uses it to his advantage to get what he wants. My mother wants to leave. My father won't let her. What is his stays his. My mother runs for her life. My father rapes her for trying to leave. Then I come along, innocent. My father can't believe what has happened. My mother wants to keep me. My father says no, I'm just a burden. My mother has no choice. She leaves. I start to grow up without a father, alone. My mother tries with all her might to keep him away from me. But somehow he finds me, then finds her. I'm alone in a dark room waiting. My mother is screaming. My father is raping her once more. He throws her into the same room as me. He slams the door, looks behind him, he slams the door and locking it behind him. I run to my mother's aid. She cries as I hold her. I start to cry as well. My father opens the door, grabs me by the arm, asks me, "So you're my daughter? You're too pretty to be my daughter. Look at your mother, she's a slut. And how old are you now?" Out of fear, I stay quiet. "Answer me when I ask you a question. How old are you?" "I am 17, I said. "So you're basically a woman," he says. He grabs me, my mother screams. My father slaps her, pulls me out of the room. As I scream, he starts to laugh. I ask him, "Please don't hurt me. Let us go. We won't say a word, I swear." He says, "There is no way out of here. I won't let you go." He looks at me with a devilish grin, and he looks at me with a devilish look in his eyes. You really are pretty, and I do like them when they're young and bright. He starts towards me. I start to run across the room. There is no way out of here. I'm stuck. There's not even a window. He yells. I collapse to the floor. "You're going to be mine even if you are my daughter." He starts to undo his pants. I start to cry knowing what's coming next. My father rapes me, not only once, but 3 times. He tells me to shut up. I start to just cry out of pain and also out of disgrace. "Shut up, you're a woman, you could take a little pain." I cry even harder because of the fact that I was a virgin, so it hurts so much more. "Shut up and do what I tell you, put your clothes back on." I do as I'm told and hide under the table as if I'm a lapdog. I hear my father leave the room. I try for the door, it's locked. I start to cry and I look around and see if there's another way out. I see none, so I start to scream. As I scream, I hear a voice. The voice isn't familiar, but I follow the voice. It's the voice of a young boy crying in pain. "Are you alright?" I say in a whisper. "Do you want me to try to get you out of this cage?" He continues to cry. He looks very familiar to me, almost like my father. "What is your name?" I ask. He starts to scream. I turn and see my father behind me. "What in the hell are you doing over here? Didn't I tell you to just get dressed?" I cringe as he's about to slap me. I feel his gigantic hand slap me in the face. I hit the floor. He grabs me and drags me across the room into another room where my mother is. I see my mother isn't moving. I run to her. My mother is dead. I started to scream not only out of anger but out of pain. My father leaves and says, as he leaves, "She got what she deserved. No one leaves and gets away with it. I hate you, even if you are my father, I hate you." You think those words really hurt me? Well, they don't. It's not the first time that I've heard them. It's all good though. You can hate me for all you like. You're never going to leave this place anyway. So when he said that, I started to cry softer. He looks at me in a strange way, then asks me, "Do you want to sleep with Daddy tonight?" I look at him and take his hand. He takes me into another room. I hadn't noticed that there were stairs there before. "You could sleep with Daddy. I won't hurt you, I promise." I do as I'm told and lay down in the bed next to him. That's a good girl. As I lay there, I try to picture how I'm going to get out of this godforsaken place. I see that my father is starting to drift off to sleep. "Be a good girl and get some sleep. In the morning, I will give you some nice breakfast and we can sit and talk, get to know one another." "Okay, Dad, I'll do it. I'll be a good girl." As I said that, I drifted off to sleep. I woke up and I was no longer in my father's bedroom. I was here, in this hospital where I've been writing what had happened. I really don't know what had happened at all. All I know is that I'm alive, and so is that boy. And guess what? He's my younger brother.
Wow.